I'm so sorry. So, as it turns out, you know who says he cannot come up with the cash to cover his $400 million plus bond in his New York fraud case. So, is Letitia James like gonna just?
Do you need a tissue?
I don't know if I'm laughing or crying.
Here,
I can't wait to see the chains on Trump Tower, actually, on Fifth Avenue. I'm like kind of excited about it.
But is Letitia James gonna go like put a chain on Trump Tower?
Yeah.
And take it away from him?
She said.
Just look at the glee, man. This is a fantasy for these people. And it's shocking when you think about it, man. They really are this tone deaf. They really are this willing to say the quiet part out loud. I mean, these are the same people who claim that everything that they aren't told to approve of is authoritarian and that anyone who isn't their guy is a threat to democracy. Those same people are now fantasizing live on TV that the government is going to show up and confiscate the property of a citizen after an attorney general who ran for office on the promise to destroy that citizen any way that she could and then manipulated a system to do it, is going to show up and just put a padlock on this guy's property, man. It's amazing to me. They applaud this. They hope that that's exactly what happens. And they have no ability to see past Orange Man bad and realize that if Donald Trump lets them take his property, it will be the biggest boost for his campaign since his mugshot backfired on him. But these people cannot get out of their own way.
he doesn't have the money. Nobody wants to lend him the money in this country anyway. Who knows what's going to happen with Russia and Saudi Arabia, because they know that he doesn't pay his bills back. And obviously he didn't make enough money in that golden sneaker thing. Or the Trump University, or the Trump steaks.
But wait a minute. What
about every business?
Jared? Doesn't Jared have $2 billion still?
Yes, he does. That he got from the Saudis. But I guess Jared knows that he don't pay his bills, so he doesn't want to give him the money either.
Just listen how these people actually believe things work. Actually, I don't know if they really believe that this is how things work, or if they just think the people at home are really that stupid. And honestly, if you're tuning in to watch The View day in and day out, you probably are that stupid. But just break those things down one by one, because Joy, she might have set a record for number of lies and mischaracterizations in one single burst. And she's already got many, many, many records. So she says that Trump doesn't have the money and that no one wants to loan it to him. Well, according to his own statement on Truth Social, he says he's got the money. You know, money that he says he was hoping to use in his run for the White House, which, of course, when you really break it down, is one of the many, many reasons for all of the left's lawfare. Tie the guy up in court physically, emotionally, and financially. You know, she also says that no one wants to loan him the money. And this is true, but it's not because of him. It's not because he doesn't pay his bills, like she says. It's because it's $500 million freaking dollars, and it's not a loan, it's a bond. $500 million bond apparently has never been done. And apparently that streak is going to stay alive. It will not be done. And as far as a loan, another thing that she intimated was that he's going to get it from foreign sources. I promise you, the left wishes that Donald Trump would borrow the money from anyone, because Donald Trump compromised by a loan, preferably from a foreign source, is a literal, liberal, wet dream of propaganda. No doubt about it. That is something that they would ride to the end of the earth. Then, of course, she implies that the golden sneaker thing was a failure because it didn't raise $500 million. Guys, it was 1,000 pairs of shoes. All it was meant to do was troll liberals and get free advertising. And as we can see, that's paying off. That is still working. And then, of course, there's Jared's $2 billion. They expect the victims in the audience of The View to not understand how an investment fund even works. I mean, they really believe that Jared has a couple $2 billion just sitting around doing nothing but breaking laws and rules of nepotism. I mean, these people are that stupid. You know, they cannot form thoughts without lying to you. And it's amazing, Matt. But just in case the people at home couldn't quite keep up, Joy's going to give us a little bit more. And I'll show you that in a second, guys. But first, help the channel grow. Hit the like button so we can reach as many of these people as possible.
You Here's
little
my
something.
problem, though. I mentioned Saudi Arabia and Russia for a reason.
Yeah.
They have motivation to give him the money because then they will own him.
And China.
They almost own him
China.
now.
Does he have to disclose legally, Sonny, where he gets the money, though?
And all
has
these
to
people,
for the bond.
all you
If
Trump
he
supporters,
becomes
all the
president.
Trump supporters
Well,
who are
no,
watching.
to get the bond.
Do you have enough
They're not gonna do
evidence
it.
that he's a lousy businessman yet? Because that's all I heard before when he was running from people. He's a really good businessman. They thought The Apprentice was a real show.
Yes, they
was a
did.
real business.
That's a really important point,
Yeah,
Joy.
he's not a good businessman.
And
so
he doesn't
forget about
have
it.
the money. He claims to be a billionaire.
It's pretty funny to watch, man. It's depressing, it's frightening, it's terrifying, but it's funny. I mean, you have to laugh at this stuff. I mean, the meltdown of these people's brains is going to be pretty unreal. I mean, they really do believe their own lies about Donald Trump not being a good businessman. He just played one on TV or whatever. They keep asking, how much more proof do you need that he's can't get anything right or whatever they're saying. Well, here's the truth about that. When the left kicked him off of Twitter and Facebook, he started Truth Social, his own social media company. That company that he started just so that he'd have a way to communicate, which is amazing when you think about it. It's set to go public next week, and that should put north of $3 billion in his pocket overnight. And I gotta say, man, if that's what being a bad businessman looks like, please sign me up for that. I mean, that is pretty amazing stuff. But anyway, obviously these are not serious people. These are not people that care about justice or democracy. They're driven by hate and only hate. They have this notion that somehow they've been wronged by the guy and they need to exact some sort of revenge. They feel like they are owed some sort of revenge. It's freaking spooky stuff when you think about it. And I haven't heard it explained any better than Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, explains it all right here.
Tell me a little bit about where you are in this process, because in terms of the appeals happening or the appeals court deciding, the appellate division deciding that perhaps they're going to make some modifications to this judgment.
Right. Well, our argument in front of the appellate division is that forcing him to sell prized properties such as Trump Tower, iconic properties like 40 Wall Street, to pursue his appeal is manifest injustice, and it deprives him of that due process that we are all entitled to. So imagine you can't reverse selling off Trump Tower on a fire sale at a discounted price. We can't fix that if we win on an appeal. So it's complete injustice. And only a handful of sureties, as we stated, are approved by the United States Department of Treasury to even underwrite bonds of this size. So of those, even those very limited handful amounts, they're limited to policies with even single bonds up to maybe 100 million. None of them accept hard assets. They require cash or cash equivalents, such as marketable securities. The ask of Judge Engoron is completely ridiculous. He knew that, or if he didn't know that, then he should have educated himself on it. But it is intentionally to interfere in the election, to hurt President Trump, to try and ruin his company and ruin a person and a family whose private company, not public company, has made the skyline of New York changed forever and made so many jobs, created jobs, taxes to New York. It's a disgrace, Martha. So we're waiting on those reasons that we've stated in our appeal and many more. But that's just a summary of what we're waiting on the appellate division to do.
Alina, do you have any sense of whether or not the appellate division is sympathetic to this argument and what their time frame might be to respond to it? Because 5 days is not that much time.
No, it's not that much time, and we pressed the fact that this is urgent. And I will say the appellate division has been great in looking at these things in a timely manner. There were days where we've taken things to the appellate division and waited to be heard, and they heard us. They definitely, we can tell, have listened to our arguments fairly. You know, don't forget, this case, the judge had a trial where he disregarded the appellate division that shortened the statute of limitations here and said that this case was limited and that he just disregarded it. So that in itself should, you know, to me, just put his nose, this judge put his nose up to the appellate division, disregarded the rule of law, disregarded the higher court. And in that alone, you know, they should take that into account, let alone the other injustices that we saw for those 11 weeks in trial.
Alina, I want to play something for you quickly from The View and get a quick thought from you on this, and then I'm going to swing over to Jonathan Turley. So let's play what how excited the hosts at The View are about all of this. Watch.
Is Letitia James going to go, like, put a chain on Trump Tower?
Nobody wants to lend him the money, in this country anyway. Who knows what's going to happen with Russia and Saudi Arabia.
I can't wait to see the chains on Trump Tower, actually, on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, what's your response to the glee around the table on this, Alina?
They're poster women for Trump derangement syndrome, and they should seek help. That's my thoughts on that. I mean, it's pathetic. Why would you want the country to be in demise? People that think like this, the hatred, I hope they go to church and pray on that, or whoever they pray to, because I don't hold hatred like that towards anybody, frankly. And I think that people to say disgusting things like that on national television and not care about the people that work there, not care about the jobs that they create is a really sad state of affairs.
She's absolutely right, man. It is hatred. It's Trump derangement. It's hatred. It's complete and total insanity. But she said something interesting right there. She gives these people too much credit. She says she can't see how anyone could want to see the country put through something like this. She can't see how they can't think of the employees of the Trump organization, right? Of course, these people can't think about those things. They don't ever think about those things. They don't care about the country. They don't care about anyone other than their own greed and their own lust for some sort of revenge that they think they deserve. They can't even calm themselves down and proceed with even a little bit of caution to make sure that they don't give the guy a massive optical victory. I mean, they do not care about anything other than destroying the guy. They can't even remember why they want him destroyed. They just want blood, and they have absolutely no shame about it. The alarming thing is the fact that there are millions and millions and millions of people sitting at home in their underwear that really do feel the exact same way, man. But, you know, that's the exact result you get when people are subjected to 24/7 vitriolic propaganda for damn near a decade. It is not a healthy situation for anybody, especially them. But that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.